There's a sacred space that exists between sleep and waking, a threshold where the soul is still free, untethered by the weight of the world. And it's in that space that something extraordinary happens. Someone opens their eyes, and before they remember their name, before they think about their responsibilities or check their phone, they think of you, not because they decided to, not because they were trying to, but because in that liminal moment when the veil between worlds is thinnest, your energy was there waiting for them, like it's been every morning for longer than they're willing to admit. You see, thoughts aren't random. They're energetic frequencies, signals that travel across time and space, connecting hearts that were meant to find each other. And when someone wakes up with you on their mind, it's not coincidence. It's evidence of something far more profound. It means your soul has been visiting theirs while they slept, weaving through their dreams, leaving traces of your essence in places their conscious mind can't reach. The scientific world calls it the subconscious, but those who understand energy know it's a language of the universe speaking through us. This person doesn't just think about you in passing. You're the first frequency they tune into, the first vibration that calls them back to consciousness. And here's what they'll never tell you, what they might not even understand themselves yet. Every single morning, there's a moment of peace when they remember you exist, a moment where everything feels right, even if their life feels wrong. A moment where your face, your voice, your energy fills a space inside them that nothing and no one else can occupy. They might get up, make coffee, go through their routine, distract themselves with the noise of the day. But that first thought, that morning thought, it stays with them like a prayer they never learned to say out loud. If you've been feeling their energy, if you've been sensing something stirring in the invisible space between you, trust that feeling because what's happening is real. This person is connected to you in ways that defy logic, in ways that make them question everything they thought they knew about love, about timing, about destiny. And the truth is, they're starting to realize they can't run from this anymore. They can't pretend you're just a memory or a moment that passed. You're a frequency they're tuned to, a station they keep returning to no matter how many times they try to change the channel. So if you're reading this, if something inside you stirred when you saw those words, write down what you felt just now, not for anyone else, just for you, because you're about to understand something that changes everything. There's an ancient concept that mystics and poets have whispered about for centuries, a truth that science is only now beginning to understand through quantum entanglement and energetic resonance. The invisible thread. Imagine a cord of pure light, woven from stardust and intention, connecting your heart to theirs across any distance, through any circumstance, beyond any obstacle the physical world could place between you. This thread cannot be seen with human eyes, but it can be felt by those brave enough to pay attention to what their soul is trying to tell them. And right now, that thread is pulling tighter. This person feels it every single day, though they might call it by different names: restlessness, nostalgia, an inexplicable ache they can't quite place. They'll be in the middle of a conversation with someone else and suddenly feel you there, like you just walked into the room even though you're miles away. They'll hear a song and their chest will tighten because somehow it sounds like you, feels like you, reminds them of a moment that hasn't even happened yet. This is an invisible thread at work, transmitting your energy directly into their awareness, bypassing all their defenses and speaking straight to the part of them that knows the truth. What makes this connection so powerful, so undeniable, is that it's not based on convenience or compatibility in the way most people understand those words. It's not about whether you make sense on paper or whether the timing is perfect. The invisible thread exists because your souls recognize each other before your minds had a chance to interfere, before fear could build walls, before past pain could write the story of what's possible. And here's what this person is beginning to understand. Even if they haven't said out loud yet, they can date other people, they can fill their time with distractions, they can convince themselves they've moved on, but that thread remains. It doesn't weaken with distance. It doesn't fade with time. It actually grows stronger the more they try to ignore it. Like the universe is saying, not yet, but soon, and you'll understand why you had to wait. There are moments late at night when they feel you so intensely it's almost overwhelming, when they wonder if you're thinking about them at the exact same moment. And the answer is yes, you probably are, because the invisible thread works both ways. It's a circuit of energy that flows between you, activated by attention, strengthened by acknowledgement, Impossible to sever no matter how hard anyone tries. If you've been feeling inexplicably drawn to this person, if their name keeps appearing in your life, if you dream about them or feel their presence when you're alone, know that you're not imagining it. The thread is real, and it's guiding both of you towards something that's been written in the stars long before either of you took your first breath. Stay open, because the pull is about to become impossible to resist. Every great love story has a moment of resistance, a chapter where fear tries to rewrite what the heart already knows is true, and this person is standing right in the middle of that moment right now. They've been fighting this feeling for longer than they care to admit, building walls out of logic and reason, convincing themselves that wanting you doesn't make sense, that the timing is wrong, that they should be able to control what their heart does. But here's the beautiful, terrifying truth. The heart doesn't operate on timelines or conditions. The heart knows what it knows, and no amount of mental gymnastics can change that. This person has been at war with themselves, and you felt the shockwaves of that battle even from a distance. One day they're warm, open, present. The next day they're cold, distant, guarded. It's not because they don't care. It's because they care so much it scares them. They've seen what happens when people let their guard down, when vulnerability becomes a weapon someone else can use against them. They've been hurt before, or maybe they hurt others, and they promised themselves they wouldn't let it happen again. But then you came along, not forcing anything, not demanding anything, just existing in your authentic truth. And somehow that was the most disarming thing of all. They can't fight something that doesn't fight back. They can't resist something that simply is. And slowly, day by day, breath by breath, their resistance is crumbling. The universe has a way of orchestrating surrender, of creating conditions that make holding on more painful than letting go. Right now, divine timing is working its magic in their life, removing distractions, closing doors that were never meant to stay open, clearing the path so they can finally see what's been in front of them all along. You, the truth, the connection they've been running from because it feels too big, too real, too destined. There's a shift happening inside them that you might not see yet, but you can probably feel a softening, a willingness to stop fighting what wants to emerge. They're starting to realize that maybe, just maybe, the scariest thing isn't opening their heart to you. The scariest thing is looking back one day and realizing they let fear make their decisions, that they chose safety over truth, comfort over connection, logic over love. And that's a regret they're not willing to carry. So they're beginning to surrender, not to you specifically, but to the process, to the journey, to whatever this connection is meant to become. It's messy and it's nonlinear, and some days they take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but the direction is clear. They're moving toward you, toward honesty, toward a future where pretending doesn't take so much energy anymore. If you've been patient through this, if you've been holding space for them without trying to force anything, know that your patience is about to be rewarded in ways you can't even imagine yet. The universe speaks in whispers before it shouts, in subtle signs and synchronicities that most people dismiss as coincidence. But this person has been receiving messages about you that are becoming impossible to ignore. Numbers that follow them everywhere, on clocks, receipts, license plates. Numbers that somehow feel connected to you, to dates you shared, to moments that mattered. Songs that come on at the exact moment they're thinking about you. With lyrics that seem to tell your story, that voice what they're too afraid to say themselves. Dreams so vivid they wake up feeling like you were really there, like you were trying to tell them something important, something they need to hear. Objects that remind them of you appearing out of nowhere. Old photos resurfacing. Mutual friends mention your name randomly, as if the universe is orchestrating these moments to keep you in their awareness. They've tried to brush it off, tried to convince themselves it's all in their head, but deep down they know better. Deep down they're starting to understand that when the universe wants 2 souls to connect, it doesn't give up. It doesn't send one sign and walk away. It sends sign after sign after sign until the message becomes so clear that denial is no longer an option. And here's what's happening right now that you need to understand. They're finally paying attention. They're finally asking themselves the question they've been avoiding. What if all of this means something? What if these aren't coincidences but confirmations? What if the universe is trying to show them that you're not just someone from their past or a fleeting connection, but someone who's meant to be in their future in ways they haven't fully grasped yet? There's one sign in particular that shook them recently. One moment that was so undeniable, so perfectly timed, that it broke through all their skepticism and planted a seed of knowing in their heart. They haven't told anyone about it because it feels too personal, too sacred, but it happened, and it changed something inside them. They're looking at everything differently now. They're seeing patterns they couldn't see before. They're feeling your presence, even when you're not physically near. And the most powerful part is that they're starting to trust these signs instead of fighting them, starting to see them as breadcrumbs leading them back to something real, something worth pursuing despite the fear. If you've been seeing signs about this person too, if your intuition has been screaming at you that something significant is unfolding, trust it completely. The synchronicities you're experiencing aren't separate from the ones they're experiencing. They're two halves of the same message, two perspectives on the same truth. The universe is aligning you, preparing you both for what comes next. And what comes next is going to surprise you both, because there's an action forming in their mind, a decision they're on the verge of making that will change the entire dynamic between you. They haven't taken it yet, but it's coming. Something is building an invisible space between you and this person, an energetic momentum that's reaching a tipping point. And when it breaks through into the physical realm, everything shifts. You won't see it coming the way you might expect, because divine timing never announces itself with fanfare. It moves quietly, purposefully, waiting for the exact right moment when both hearts are open enough to receive what's being offered. But here's what I can tell you. This person is preparing themselves, even if they don't consciously realize it yet. They're clearing space in their life, their mind, their heart. They're having internal conversations with themselves about you, about what you mean to them, about what they've been too afraid to acknowledge. And in those conversations, something is crystallizing. A clarity is emerging that's been obscured by confusion and fear up until now. They're seeing the truth, and the truth is that you matter more than they've been willing to admit. There's a specific action they're going to take, a message they're going to send, a boundary they're going to cross that they've kept firmly in place until now. It could be words they finally speak out loud, a confession that's been building in their throat for months. It could be a gesture that shows you without telling you exactly how much space you occupy in their world. It could be a choice they make that prioritizes connection over protection, vulnerability over safety, truth over comfort. But whatever form it takes, it's going to be undeniable. You'll know when it happens. You'll feel the shift in the energy between you, like a door that was locked suddenly swinging open, like light flooding into a room that's been dark for too long. And here's the part that makes this even more powerful. When they take this action, when they finally move toward you in a real way, it's going to unlock something in you too. Something you've been holding back, something you've been protecting, some part of your own heart that hasn't felt safe enough to fully emerge. Because real connection isn't one-sided. It's a mirror. It's a dance. It's two people finally brave enough to stop pretending they don't feel what they feel. So the question isn't if something is going to happen. It's when, and how prepared you'll be to receive it when it does. Because timing is everything. And the universe has been coordinating this moment with precision you can't even fathom. But there's something else, something I haven't told you yet. Something about why they've been thinking of you specifically. Why you and not someone else. Why this connection exists in the first place. And that answer is waiting for you in the next revelation.